Welcome back to the Math Eye, where the Warriors trail at halftime, and got an interview with Officer Chris Powell, investigator Chris Powell from the Wayne State Police Department, president of the Police Officers Association. And if you look at this jersey with the number 128, and that's on the Warrior jerseys, men's and women's this year, that's the badge number of Officer Collin Rose, who on November 22nd was shot, passed away the next day, and touched the hearts of everybody, not just in Midtown, not just in Michigan, but all across the country. And talked to Chief Holt, and this number's retired. And we're going to talk to Chris. There's a lot going on, and you were one of his best friends, if not his very best friends. But let's just talk first about what the last few months have been like for you guys.
Well, it's been very emotional, Joe. I never thought I'd be burying my best friend. We were both planning fall weddings. Him and his fiance were just looking so much forward to their wedding. It was his D-Day. You know, Collin had been the most eligible ineligible bachelor, always taken, and he was just so much looking forward to marrying Nikki. He had proposed it to her in May at the police memorial in D.C. after just finishing a 300-mile bike ride called the Police Unity Tour. And this is just, it's a worst nightmare come true, and we're really trying to keep his name out there.
You know, you guys, you told me, you know, you were two of the guys that would go to some of these other funerals, and you said how different it was that you were used to being one of the officers who stood in line saluting the casket and the pallbearers, and this time you got to be a pallbearer, and a little surreal, isn't it?
Oh, it was. I don't know. There's not words for how it was like 1,000 paper cuts. Walked out of that church. We heard the bagpipes playing, and Collin and I have been for the last 5 years going to police funerals together, and to be carrying his body and seeing the respect that we've given so many officers, it was just. You can see the pictures in the paper. I'm bawling my eyes out as we're carrying him out there. But I mean, it was just such a showing of respect, and it was an honor that he deserved.
You know, an interesting thing. It was November 22nd, coincidentally the same date that President Kennedy was shot, and you've had contact that actually relates to President Kennedy. We talk about this touching the entire country. It went all the way to Dallas.
It did. We had the officers reach out from Dallas that, that it's a shared date. That Collin was shot on the same day that Officer Tibbet was shot and killed trying to catch the killer of President Kennedy. And, we've had them want to network with the widow who's still alive. And they've been very supportive of everything. They've wanted any memorial trinkets we've done, and they've been very supportive.
We're going to try and keep Collin's memory alive. I don't think that's going to be very hard to do, but one of the things to start is the inaugural Collin Rose Memorial Golf Outing coming up in July at Lockmore Golf Club. Tell us a little bit about that and how people can get involved.
Well, it's going to be July 24th. It's a Monday. It's going to be a scramble. Right now we're taking registrations, putting together teams. It's $150 per golfer to play. We have a Facebook page where you can look us up. It's Collin Rose Memorial Golf Outing. And we have an email address, rosegolfouting@gmail.com. We're looking for sponsors. His dad's going to be there golfing. His fiance, Nikki, will be there. And it's going to be a great event. And we're looking forward to making it an annual event.
And if you're not a golfer, hey, for $40, you can come be a part of the dinner, be a part of the auction. And there's also ways to contribute other ways. I know that there's a coin. There's a reward fund that you guys have built up, and it's over $100,000 now. But I know you're an investigator. This case stays open.
Yeah, we're in this for the long haul. We're not going to let this investigation run out of gas. We're doing different things so that people can carry a piece of Collin with them. We did a coin. We've sold over 500 coins, and I'm ordering another batch of 100. We're doing a lapel pin with his badge number on it with a paw print. We're trying to keep his name out there. The search continues. We want more people to contact Crime Stoppers and offer, to donate to increase that reward fund.
We see similar incidents around the country, and it disgusts you every time. But when it hits this close to home, and I know for all of us, we're part of Midtown, and you guys aren't just Wayne State. You're the Midtown Police Department. And when it's this close to home, it really makes you realize how important it is. And when you see the reaction, I know talking to you off camera to see how it affects you, when you talk to Chief Holt, this is probably harder than you even imagine. I know you've been to those funerals before, but it's probably even more so than what you saw.
Yeah. Well, some of the best memories Collin and I ever had, we drove to Scranton for the Pennsylvania State Trooper who was ambushed. We drove to Boston for Officer Collier, who worked at MIT. Some of the best memories we ever had were we're going to show respect, and the amount of respect that has come in and support from the community has been great. I've been writing thank yous and sending them all over the country for different things, and it's each week we're dropping off a basket that came in to his family of thank you cards and of letters of support, items that people have made. It's been wonderful, the outpouring.
One of the things I love about doing this interview today, and didn't know this until you told me, but we've got the two schools that you both graduated from. You both have bachelor's degrees from Ferris, and you have master's from Wayne State, so we really did pick the perfect day to talk to you.
Collin was a proud Bulldog. He met his fiancée there. They reconnected a few years later, and Collin hired in here, and he was in the master's program, and he was slated to graduate in December in dispute resolution, and big proponent of officers having a continued education. He believed that the more education you had, Joe, the easier your job was. You had more tools in the toolbox. You were less likely to use force because you were able to talk your way out of a bad situation. And he was proud to be a Ferris grad, and he was honored to be a Wayne State student and to be a Wayne State policeman.
We talk about, just like you say, the pride of being here. We did a few features last year with Chief Holt and with some of the other officers, and one of them was Andy Grimm, part of the K-9 unit that Collin was a part of. And I always remember Andy referring to the dog as his partner. It wasn't a dog, it was a partner. And I know Collin had two of them, and you gave me an update, but tell everybody, where are his two partners?
So Collin had been partnered with a Rottweiler named Clyde for the last few years. And Clyde was a drug dog, and Collin had taken on him to train him as a patrol dog and get him certified as well. So he took Clyde and made him into a winner, and then he took on additional responsibility in May, taking on the first vapor wake dog in Detroit. He went down to Alabama and was down in Alabama training and learning to be a vapor wake, which is basically they're dogs that can detect body-worn explosives in a crowd. They're friendly dogs. Wolverine is the name of his second dog, and that was a German short-hair pointer. Dog full of energy. Collin was supposed to come home with a lab and came home with a pointer because a Illinois officer couldn't handle Wolverine, and Collin wanted the challenge, and he took it and was doing great. He had two dogs in the car when this incident happened, and if there could have been room for a third, he would have done it. Sometimes there may have been a third dog in the car on training days because he was training another dog at home called Havoc in explosives. So can't really confirm or deny that, but Collin was always up for a challenge. He loved dogs. His fiancée Nikki loves dogs too. Right now I think there's 9 dogs in the house that she's taking care of, and we're still collecting dog food at Cass Core Dog at Cass and Willis. If anybody's interested, you can see them there and donate dog food to support Nikki as she cares for the dogs, because Clyde is retired with her.
Chris, again, thank you. Our sympathies to you, to Nikki, to the family, to the department, to everybody. Like I say, it cuts at our hearts too. Everybody, don't forget the Facebook page, the Collin Rose Memorial Golf Outing, July 24th at Lockmore. Register if you can. We'll be right back on CN 900.